Today we're going to talk about what kind of truck we're going to want to install these units on. Whether it be a wheel lift, a sling, whatever it is that you choose, we're going to talk about those trucks. First thing we want, no 1500, no 150s, no half-ton pickup trucks. We don't want it. It's not good. No matter what you do to that truck, it's not going to be strong enough to hold up to the day-to-day abuses that we put this stuff through in the towing industry. Another thing is the 94 to 2002 Dodge the Dodge Rams. Those are no good also. They have a split frame right in front of the axle. They're split, they're bolted together, they're pinned together, they're broken right from the factory. You put some towing equipment on there and it's a surefire way to ruin that truck. Now, we do have a cure, we do have a fix for that if that's the truck you have and that's the one you have to use. But keep in mind, it's a $2,500 frame reinforcement. It's no small job. We also have videos on YouTube so you can kind of get an idea of what we're doing and what, justify that $2,500. Another thing is wheelbase. We want 156-inch minimum wheelbase, preferably the 172-inch wheelbase. And the reason why we want that is the longer the truck, the better chances you have at carrying the load, hauling cars. But keep in mind, these pickup truck applications have 3 foot of overhang behind the rear end, where a wrecker application is the equipment slammed right up to the rear end. It's cut, the frame's cut off right at the back of the spring hanger. It's completely different. So in the pickup trucks, we need that longer truck. That's why you don't see a lot of these wheel lift units going into the short trucks, because they just plain don't work. Another thing we're looking for is GVW. We want a minimum of a 10,000 pound GVW. Where you can find your GVW rating is on the driver's side. Inside of the door there should be a manufacturer's tag, and that'll tell you what the GVW rating, which is gross vehicle weight rating. That needs to be minimum 10,000 pounds. Preferably we'd like to see it 13,300 in that range. The higher GVW rating, the better chances you're going to have at being able to get out there and tow what you need to tow and not leave any money behind. The GVW rating also is encompassed with the brakes rating, the suspension rating, the frame ratings, and the studs. I had a 1-ton single axle truck. I was cruising down the freeway, and next thing you know, I thought I got a blowout. I pulled over the side of the road, I get out and I look at the truck, everything looked fine. I get back in the truck, as soon as I put it in gear and pulled forward, the wheel fell right off. Now, this is also why we want a dual rear wheel truck. You get a blowout, going 60 miles an hour down the freeway, you're going to have a hard time getting that truck over the side of the road without wrecking, turning over, destroying a bunch of stuff. Now, on that 1-ton truck that all the studs broke off of, if I would have had a dually, it wouldn't have happened, because it's spreading that weight out over 4 tires instead of 2 tires. I would have had less chances to break those 8 lugs. So you got, that kind of help you understand what kind of load and what kind of weight is going on these things for it to shear 8 studs right off of the rotor. Next thing is suspension upgrades. Do not, under any circumstances, put airbags, timbering blocks, or anything that's going to limit the travel of your suspension. You want that suspension to move. What we want you to do is put springs on it, whether it be super springs, max loaders. Go to a local spring shop, have them add leaf springs to each side. Usually it's 3 to 4. The thing with that is if you limit by putting airbags and timbering blocks on there, you're limiting it from moving, and also you're giving the frame a prying point, because all of our weight is behind the rear axle. You're giving it a prying point on that frame for it to bust that frame up. Now, another nice thing about the max loaders and the super springs and stuff like that is you can typically take those from one truck to another truck, because if you're going to be in this industry, you're not going to have one truck for your whole career. You're going to have multiple trucks. So now you can, when that horse is dead, you can go to the next horse and take your springs and your equipment with you and put it on a new truck. Let's see here. Frame reinforcement. Now, frame reinforcement is always recommended no matter what kind of equipment we're putting on these pickup truck units, because obviously they were not designed to be tow trucks. They're not designed to be wreckers. So framers want the frame as strong as we can possibly get it. So we always recommend frame reinforcement. Now, there are a few units out there that have to have frame reinforcement no matter what. Your stock frame will not withhold and will not withstand any of this, the workings of this equipment. Our Lil Hercules wheel lift, we strongly recommend frame reinforcement, but you don't have to. You can, but you're going to be limited. You got to keep in mind you're going to be towing small stuff. If you want to be able to go out there and do more stuff, you need to do the frame reinforcement right off bat. Once you bend that frame, once you tweak it, you're never going to get it right. It's just like getting into a front end accident. All of a sudden now, everything doesn't line up right. You take it to the best body shop there is out there, no matter what. Once it's tweaked, bent, busted, there's no getting it back right. Now your tires are wearing uneven, the truck's driving crooked. The best bet is just to do it right off bat, get it right, and then you're not going to have to worry about it. You're going to go out there and make money and not have to worry about your frame busted on you, and you got 10 cars you got to go pick up. Then what? Another thing is engine. We prefer to have a diesel motor. I understand a lot of guys these days can't afford to go with a diesel motor or don't want a diesel motor because of its maintenance, a high maintenance. But you just can't replace that power and torque out of the diesel motor. But you can go with a gas motor, but what you're going to need is a counterweight. What we do is we hang 400 pounds off the front end of the truck, which counteracts that weight difference between the gas motor and the diesel motor, helps keep that front end down and helps you keep steering and helps you stop. Last of all, tires. We want minimum E-rated tires. If you don't have E-rated tires, you're going to have all kinds of problems. We want an F or a G-rated tire, which is a 12 or a 14 ply tire. If you don't have those, you're going to have nothing but problems out there trying to get those regular small tires to hold that kind of weight. Now most of your trucks, your 250, 350, and 3/4, 1 ton trucks come with a 10 ply tire on them. We want you to upgrade those tires to a 12 or a 14 ply tire. It's going to keep you a lot more stable. The tires are going to wear better. It's going to handle a load a lot better. So I think I pretty much got everything. If there's any other questions, feel free to give us a call at Detroit Wrecker 313-835-8700. That's our local number.